Hey guys, it's Nicole. Welcome back to Chronicles of a Crafter. So I've lowered my camera, brought you in a little bit closer just to see this little project right here that we made out of a glassine bag that I picked up from vendor's booth. It was a catering location that I went to at a conference. Basically, they bagged up all of the lunches into one of these. Okay, as you can tell, mine is a little bit smaller, so I did have to cut this full-size bag down just a little bit. Okay, so here's what we've got going on here. I basically made, this is our little prototype. What I've done was I made a little journal carrier or a journal holder, and it has handles on it which are original to the bag, and I just lined the inside with some chipboard and some pretty Christmas paper. So this could be a nice little gift that you can give to someone during the holidays. And I'm using up my Christmas paper pack because it's almost that time of year, guys. We got to use it up. I can't hoard it forever. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make another one of these. I'll make it a little bit bigger so that a full-size journal can fit in there. And yeah, let's just play with some paper and make some things. And yeah, all right, let's make one of these. All right, guys, so to begin with, you're going to have to deconstruct the bag. So you may not have a bag like this. If you have, let's say, some glassine paper, which looks a little bit like this, it's pretty much the same concept. It's a little less transparent than an actual bag. The way I got glassine paper, I ordered some stamps from Etsy, and someone sent me the postage stamps in a little envelope that was made of glassine paper. So you can check for it on Amazon, see if it's available there. That's where I got this in a package that looks like this. Okay, so it's similar but not the same. This is just junk, right? This was a bag lunch or whatever I picked up at a vendor's booth during a conference during the lunch hour or what have you, and our lunch was in this, so I'm using it instead of throwing it away. I wish I went around and collected all of the bags. That would have been absolutely genius, but I didn't. I'm always thinking about junk journaling, right? So I'm always thinking about garbage that can be reused instead of this will end up in a landfill somewhere. I'm just going to deconstruct the bag, take out the base that's holding the bag together, and figure out like how wide I want this to be. Now, because it's a journal holder, so initially this started off as being a journal cover, but I wanted to keep the straps, right? So instead of making it a journal cover, I just made it like, you know, so I put some elastic on here and made it into a journal holder. So I think, here's what I'm thinking. Let's get some measurements. I think I want to leave the bag as wide as it is here, and I'll tell you why. This right here, I cut the bag down way too much, and it ended up only being 1.5 inches across here, which is fine for a journal. But for a journal holder, now you're constrained to only having 1.5 inches wide journal to fit in here, right? So I think I want to leave it as wide as it is, and instead of it being just the width of the bag, I'll show you how I got to that point. Okay, so it's going to be a little noisy, and I do apologize, but here we go. Okay, so I have to flatten the sides. Okay, to get the bottom section cut away. So I'm going to cut like right along here. And I think this is the way I did it. I don't remember. I'm sorry. Like, I just made that bag not too long ago, but I've already forgotten like how I got to that point. It's sad. It's just sad, guys. I have so many things going on, so many fires and you know, what do you say, flames in the fire or what have you. I just have a lot going on right now. So I'm actually packing right now to go to my uncle's house. So by the time you see this video, I probably will be back in the craft room. I'm trying to record some content ahead of time so that you guys are not without. Okay, so I've deconstructed the bag. Okay, now it's just an opening at the top and the bottom. Okay, we will straighten all of this up, but we're going to have to also cut away these sides. So let's do that. I'm just going to find the edge of the bag where the natural crease is located. This is a little bit longer than 12 inches, so I will just cut until I get to the end and then keep going from there. So you guys can let me know in the comments down below if this camera angle is a little too close for you guys. I can always move it back further up and away from the desk. So if you go back and look at perhaps yesterday's video or the day before, you'll see that the camera is pretty much, I want to say about 2 to 3 inches further away. I want to say 3 inches further away, which gives you a much wider angle, and you see a lot more of my desk and the things that are on it. So if you don't mind seeing my junky desk, let me know. Just say yes or no in the comments. So yeah, I just wondered if a closer angle or a further away angle makes a better or worse shot for these videos, and I would know unless you guys tell me if it bothers you or not. So anyway, I hope y'all are having a crafty day. There's a lot going on, like I said, just so many things I've got in the works, and I'm really happy about it. I'm really happy about the channel and the growth that the channel is experiencing, and I think we're up to, I don't know, about 700 or more subscribers. So I'm always really happy to see that type of growth taking place. So yeah, I'm just going to continue cutting this bag up until I get it into 2 pieces, and I'll throw away this. I don't think we can use this for anything, but it really wasn't much of anything that I cut away, just little slivers here and there. So I'm going to shorten this bag. So instead of it being a 5-inch, because that's what this probably measures, this looks like it was about 5 inches, a 4 and a little more than 3/4, so about 4 5/8. So it's basically a 5-inch base that the bag had at the bottom. I'm going to overlap this section right here and glue it together. So now this base of the bag will now be 2 1/2, or there's about 2 1/2. Okay, so that's gonna happen, but before I do that, I want to figure out if I can remove this. So I will have to toil around with that for a minute. I think it's on this side. I'll toil around with this a little bit and see if I can get this wording erased. It looks like it's coming up, right? Like it said Uline on here. Yeah, I think that's working. Let me try a bone folder and see if I can just get that all scratched away. Nope, the bone folder is making it smooth. Yeah, so let me just get some alcohol and see if I can make that go away. And if I can't, I don't know, it'll just be part of the bag. So I'll try a dry wipes. Okay, alcohol did not work. I'm gonna try gasoline next. Alright, didn't need to use gasoline. I used a little bit of baby oil, and that got rid of the rest of this. Actually, I used coconut oil. That got rid of the rest of the wording that was down there. There's just a hint of it, but it's not as prominent as it used to be. So I'm okay with that. Okay, so that's where it was, and now it's gone. Okay, so I think I'm going to, adhere these 2 sections together with Fabrifix glue. and then start giving this bag new creases. Okay, so there will be a crease here and there, and I think I want my handles to fold into each other, kind of like I did with this one. I actually deconstructed the handles all together and repositioned them inside of here, and it worked out really great. So I just want the handles to be facing the same direction so that it can be like held as one strap or two straps, just by flipping it over. Okay, but yeah, I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And again, Fabrifix glue. Let me move my craft knife out of the way, and I'm just going to glue both sides of these bottom pieces together. So again, guys, just let me know what y'all are up to in the comment section. I like to see what y'all are doing with your craft spaces, and you know, what's trending right now for you. I know the Halloween season is coming up. I'm still celebrating fall because I love the fall. And yeah, I'm working in my fall junk journal. And I just thought I'd do a little Christmas something really quickly, because why not? I think these would make a great gift for someone either new to junk journaling or new to journaling, or you know, junk journals is it's an acquired taste, right? So not everybody's into junk journaling itself, but people do journal. So sometimes when you give someone a junk journal, so something like this that they can carry their junk journal in, or their junk journal ephemera in, I think would be a great idea, and it'll make a great gift. So yeah, I'm just lining these up and smushing them down together, and I think that'll be just fine right there. You can also use your bone folder. Yep, the bone folder seems to work the best. It's moving the glue around, getting out all the air bubbles in there. So yeah, this is working out great. And then of course, whatever oozes out on the sides, you just use your dry wipes and you wipe it away. Oh yeah, this is working out great. Yeah, so I'm just curious as to what you guys are working on. I really do appreciate each and every one of you who subscribe to my channel, watch my videos. Like, that's just mind-blowing to me that y'all are taking the time to watch my videos, and yeah, I'm really happy about it. So thank you guys, all my new subscribers, and especially all of my old subscribers. Y'all know who you are. So yeah, now I just have a little bit of Fabrifix here on my desk and everywhere else. So now we have this. So I'm going to use pretty paper on the inside. It's kind of like two parts, right? So there's an inside outside, and then there's an inside inside. So I want to use just some Christmas paper, so we can do like some heavy Christmas. I mean, this is like holidays all over the place for sure. there's no question what season this is. So yeah, I want to use some of this, and my journals are normally 9x6. So here is a perfect example of a 9x6 journal. Let's see, it's yep, 6 by 9 right there. Okay, so that's about the size I want this one to be. This other one was about, I think it's 6 by 8, so it's a little bit smaller, and a full-size journal won't fit in there. So to do that, I am going to measure my paper to 9x6 for the inside and the outside, and that's going to determine how we fold this this plastic bag over. I'm going to go cut this down. Okay, so to make things a little bit easier, I went ahead and removed the handles off of the bag, because we will need to slim down the edges anyway. So I just took the handles off to save those, and don't get rid of them. I'm going to line my paper up here in the center of the bag. I'm going to use some Scotch Create glue stick, because I believe that Scotch Create will glue anything, and we do need it to dry transparent so that our image of the paper shows on the outside cover. So I'm very comfortable with using Scotch Create because it's a permanent glue. It'll give us a permanent hold, and this will go nowhere when we're done. Like it'll be stuck forever. So what you want to do first of all is make sure your paper, if it's directional, it's facing right side up, and you also want to give yourself a little bit of buffer room in between the crease of the previous page and the spine page that you're gluing down. And my spine again measures 2.5, so that's the size of the paper that I cut down. And where you're going to place your next page over here, you want to give yourself 1/8 of an inch, just a little sliver of space, so that there isn't any hindrance when you open and close the book, or the cover, I should say. And again, we're not even making a book, so once it's closed, it will stay closed, but you still need to give yourself room so that it can close. And we're making a book holder, which I've never done before, and I've never used this material before, so this is all new to me. So I hope you're enjoying this process. Other than the prototype, which was touch and go, let me tell you, I've never actually made anything out of this type of bag before, so oh fun. And again, the prototype was a doozy because, again, I started off trying to make a journal, like a journal book. But when I realized that the plastic bag itself wasn't really, or the whatever this is, glassine, plastic, whatever, it's not really holding the stuff together. And then I had to reinforce it with chipboard. Okay, so that's what I have on the inside of the other book holder, is chipboard. And once you put chipboard in, trust me, if you were making a journal, that it's just, you'd have to use your crocodile to crunch those holes through to make the spine and the stitching and all of this other stuff, and I just wasn't down for it right now. Like, I just think that this is a much more thoughtful present, if it were to be a present. Okay, so there you have, my pages are not hindering the crease, and they're looking pretty good on the outside as well. Okay, so yep, I just want to make sure that everything is right where they need to be permanently. All right, so that's in. Next, I want to, let's start folding our edges in. So I need to cut away approximately, I want to say about 1 inch of this off on both sides, because I have about 1 inch or 2. I have 2 inches down here at the bottom. So I want to have somewhat even amount on the side. So if you notice, it'll come all the way into halfway across the book, and I don't, or the book cover, and I really don't want that. So I'm just going to use my scissor and a craft knife. That seems to be working for me tonight. I'm going to measure off 2 inches. So it's beyond where I cut. So I'm just going to guesstimate. Like, why start measuring things for real for right now? Let's just see. I need 2 inches, right? So I'm gonna line this up on the craft mat itself, give myself 2 inches right here, and I'll cut over here. So I'm cutting off about 1 inch, 1.25 inches, and that should give me the right amount of room to work with on the inside here. So that was easy, harmless. Let's move on to the other side. Just gonna give my book a 180 turn, just remembering that you did flip it over, so now your top is at the bottom. And again, I'm gonna give myself 2 inches based on the craft mat. That's a good thing about this paper, or this material bag. You can see right through it and use your craft mat. So I'm loving that. And I'm just going to slide my ruler down, staying on the mark and cutting away. the excess. Okay, so there's that. We've removed this much. Okay, so yeah, now I'm just going to flip my page, my cover back over, making sure again that everything is right side up, and I'm just going to cut away little triangles. So I'll show you how I'm doing that. I'm lining it up on the craft mat down here. Okay. And I'm just using the craft mat itself as a guide to cut away a little tiny triangle right here. Okay, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. So again, lining it up on the craft mat, everything straight. This is not the smartest way to do this, but it is the way that I'm going to do it today. All right, so I cut away that much right there. Hard to see, right? But it's done. So here, I'll move you guys into frame here. I'm just cutting away a little piece right here to that angle, and then cutting it to that angle and removing that. All right, I'm gonna flip it over again, telling myself that I just flipped my project upside down, so the top is now at the bottom. And sometimes you just have to remind yourself, okay? So, because I don't always remember that my paper is directional and that I've rotated it. And then we have a whole nother problem. So again, just using the craft mat and cutting away. So far, so simple. Okay, so now I'm just going to use again Fabrifix. No, I'm going to use, yeah, I can use Fabrifix. This is going to get hidden underneath the, what do you call it? Chipboard. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of Fabrifix here, on the side over here, and at the bottom here. I think that's plenty, but we'll see. I may need more. I think on top of that, I'm gonna use a little bit of glue. I'm gonna use some glue stick as well. So I'm just gonna put some glue stick on the outside of the paper bag, or the plastic bag, just to make sure that the edges gets glued down. Okay, and I know I should be using my glue mat, but I don't have time to go get it right now. So I'm just using my my craft mat. We'll see. I may have a lot of cleaning up to do when I'm done, but it's all good. Alright, let's just start folding this over. So here we go. Oh, almost forgot. This is what I forgot to do the last time as well. So don't fret. I cut away triangles on the inside of the plastic cover. So there's a little triangle right there. I'm cutting it from down here at the bottom, and I'll do the same thing at the top where you guys can see. This also just reduces the bulk. I always forget to cut this section off for whatever reason. I just never really remember. So here I'm just cutting away this much from both sides of the crease. And there we have it. Okay. And now we can fold it over. So we have to fold it over in sections. Okay, and I'm just smushing as I go. I will use my bone folder to make sure I get it nice and flat. Get all those air bubbles out of there. And then whatever oozes out, I'll catch it with my dry wipes. Okay. And again, this is the inside of the outside cover, if that makes any sense. Like, okay, we're working on the outside cover of the book holder, but it's the inside cover of the book holder that's also going to be covered up. So if any glue oozes out, don't fret. Like, don't stress over it. It's not a big deal. We will cover the whole thing up with chipboard. So I'm just folding in my sides over here and bone folding it all out, getting a nice tight crease on the edge as well. Okay, and then I'm gonna fold up the bottom section. Okay, so I've already cut my chipboard to match this right here, but first we need to put our elastic bands on. So this is what my elastic looks like. I picked it up at Amazon, and I'm gonna just guesstimate how much I need to cut. I did not, there's no science to it, but if you think about it, if a 3-inch, let's just say you have a 2.5-inch spine right here, you want that to be at least doubled so that you have some to tuck in and you have enough gap in between. So I'm just going to guesstimate 6 inches or so. Let's just see if I'm right. I love a challenge. Oh, I'm off by 1/2 inch. So I got 6.5 inches. Okay, I think that's plenty. I think that's perfect. So I'll just do that again. Just double this up and cut this off. Oops, got a little too close to the previous one and it made a mess. Okay, so again, I'll leave a link for this down in the description box below. Plenty of elastic to play with. Okay, so here we're going to glue it down on this side right here. So I want to say that it will probably be boing, boing, boing. Let's just say, yeah, I think we want it to be at least 2 inches in the middle so it's not stretching and tugging on itself, right? So I would give it about 1.5 inches on either side. So I'm just going to glue it down right here. Oh, look, I have Fabrifix all ready to go. And this is 3/4 inch elastic band, I believe it's called. If you want to look it up on Amazon yourself, that's what you would look for. But again, I will do the hard work for you and just put a link down in the description box. So I'm going to line this up on a mark anywhere here on my craft mat. This craft mat is actually working out pretty good. I normally do things the hard way. So yeah, my other craft mat, it's packed up and ready to go. I may do some crafting when I'm at my uncle's, and yeah, but this craft mat right here is actually serving a purpose. It's just so clean and so pretty. I just don't want to mess it up right now. And the smaller craft mats, just, you know, they're more disposable to me. Like I can get those anytime, but these big ones are expensive, especially on Amazon and in this craft store. So Joann's, I think, sells this mat this size. It's 36 by 24, I believe, and it's about $100. I can't imagine paying $100 for this craft mat at a craft store, so I don't. So here is where my chipboard's going to go, and it will cover up that elastic band on the top and the bottom. But first we need to glue back in our handles. So here is one handle right here, and I'm just going to glue it back in the same little crevice that it came out of. I know this is hard to see, guys, I'm so sorry, but just trust me. It's there. You know, I can see it, so trust me. I heard someone once say, trust me, I'm a crafter. I thought that was hilarious because it's true. Like, you know, it's working. The process is working. Just got to trust it. Okay, so the only problem with this is that, let's just see if our handles are even. So this one I have at 2 inches. And this one, I think it's like 2 1/4 inch Ooh, so we're gonna have to shift this up. We can't even use the previous markers that the handles were located. I'm gonna have to shift it upwards some. And let me just double check something. I think I shortened these handles because it was just a bit too long for my liking. So I will slide this down just a wee bit, just a little bit. So now there's really no measurement to it. It's just all by feel. So yeah, I'm just sliding the handle just slightly shorter than it previously was. And to measure that, I'm going to place the other side of the handle in there, and then I'll just put a little pen mark as to where the handle should go down to on the inside of the book cover or the book holder. Okay, so now on this side is where this handle is going to go, and I have my little tiny pen marks right there to tell me where to stop once I start gluing it that way. And again, I'm just going to put glue in the former location where it was, but I'll shift it north just a little bit, and we'll slide it around until we get it even on both sides. Whoops, I did say north. All right. So this is going to go right about here. And this one will go right about there. Okay, so let's close it up and see what we got. Yeah, I think the handles are in a good general location for the two sides. This one can be straightened up a little bit. But yeah, I think that's going to work out. Okay. So yeah, I'm just going to give this a few moments to dry, probably like 15 minutes or so, and I'll come back and we can wrap this whole thing up. We'll inlay our inner chipboard, including the chipboard spine, which I've also cut down for the center here, and then we can decorate, I don't know, the inside of the inside cover, right? So that's what this is now. Alright, so while my bag is drying, I went ahead and cut some of these chipboard pieces and covered them in paper. I was going to cover them in fabric, so if you notice I have this pretty gnome fabric here, but it just did not go. Okay, it wasn't vintagey enough. If you notice, this is a vintage pack of Christmas paper. So I actually pulled these red ones because I'm going to make another one. I figured out. I've decided while we were gone I'm going to go ahead and make another one. But here's the green one that we're working on. So I went ahead and covered the chipboard in this green and red pattern right here. It's like a plaid gingham type of thing. So I just have one more piece. This is still drying, as you can see. I got my clips holding all of it together, and this is a lot more movable as opposed to my previous, but I think after I put the chipboard in, it'll sturdy the whole thing up. Okay, so let me just go ahead and glue down this last piece with Fabrifix. And then we can put the whole thing together. That's what I did not do with the previous. I forgot to decorate the inside of the book holder, and that's pretty much because I was winging it and wasn't sure what I was going to make right off the bat. But sometimes it happens that way, right? So you start off making one thing and then you end up with something else, and that's perfectly fine. It's just, you know, you just have to live with the process of pivoting. Okay, so you may be wanting to do one thing, but you gotta turn on a dime and just go with the flow and make something totally different. So that's how I ended up with this. Now I'm sure somewhere on the internet there are book holders, journal holders, you know, kind of similar to what I'm doing today, but again, mine happened purely accidentally, all because of a plastic bag. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut away the excess. I'm not even going to use a ruler. I'm just going to use the side of the chipboard. Hopefully it doesn't shift on me. And yep, that worked out. I will just snip away whatever is overhang right off the edges right there. So, and this should work out pretty well because I think I cut this to size. Okay. And that's the good thing about using like really non-directional paper or paper with patterns that does not affect the direction that you're holding the item in. So it works out. So here, I'm just going to bring back in my little baggie here. And now we are going to glue in one side of our chipboard facing up. So this is the decorated inside cover. Move my glue out of the way because it's oozing. And that's going to hold everything in place, including our handles, our elastic that we have over here. So yeah, it's just going to hold it all together. So again, just Fabrifix glue all around the edges. And wherever it didn't get some before is getting it now. And I'm just going to go all the way around here, making sure I concentrate on top of that elastic because it needs it. And yeah, we'll glue this inside front cover down. I swear my glue is like, it gives me such precision, but sometimes I don't need it. Just come out of the tube already. Just come out. So yeah, okay, so that's that. If it needs any more, I will squeeze some in at the end. We'll just put this down for now. So again, I've cut this to size, so it measures the inside of the front cover fairly close. Okay, so that's gonna go right about there. And I will continue to clip everything back together with these little craft clips here. These are pretty handy. I picked these up at the Dollar Tree a while ago. So every time I go back, I always just grab another little packet. Like you notice, these are now a different color to those. So, you know, I just pick them up every time I go back because they're just so handy. There's about 6 in a pack, and right now I'm using all 6. So if I only had one pack, I wouldn't be able to continue with the project, but I happen to have this many. So yeah, let's just continue gluing this together and wrapping this little guy up. So this will go here. It's tight. It's really, really close, guys. I don't know. It may be a little too close. I don't want to take the chance. I'm just going to cut a sliver off of this side right over here. I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm feeling much better about the size of this spine. The only thing I'm not feeling great about is that this matches. Okay, this lines up nicely. It goes all the way across. But because I didn't want to waste any paper, I now have this facing in the opposite direction. So if that bothers you guys, please keep in mind that even gingham or plaid has a direction. So if I was to see this on a daily basis, it would drive me nuts. But it's going on the inside of this book cover, so you'll never see it really. So I'm okay with that. But normally I would be taking this entire thing apart and starting over. But yeah, you'll never see this section, or you'll only see this section and not really pay attention to the sides that much because it's not going to be visible. But again, if this was mine and I had the time, I would totally take it apart, or at least cut a different piece of paper, and you know, we'll just have to waste some paper to get everything lined up, because I did all of this with two sheets of 12 by 12. So that's where I was trying not to waste any paper. So instead of cutting a third piece, I just went along for the ride with whatever was left over. And I'm getting a good bit amount of Fabrifix glue all inside of here. And we're going to flip this over. Let's see if it looks any better this way. No, it looks it looks almost just as bad. So I'm going to try to get this in the center here just as straight as possible and centered, because that's where I need it to be. Lined up top and bottom, and then we'll do the same thing for the side over here. Here's our last piece. It's going down right here. Whoa, almost forgot. Almost forgot. All right, so this is the part where everything gets wacky. Okay, we gotta find a way to hold this up so that we can get our elastic underneath here. So of course, I'm gonna have to just guesstimate where the elastic is going and add a ton of Fabrifix glue right there and up here. Okay, so this is what's happening, and this is where things go crazy. All right, so we have to find a way to hold up our project in a standing position. I'm going to use a couple bottles of glue here, and I'm sorry if you can't see, but you know what's happening, you know. So I'm just going to give my elastic just a little tug, just so that it's not like stretching on its own, but tight. Okay, we want it tight. And I'm just going to place both sides of the elastic onto this chipboard right here, just like that. And it's standing upright. It's about 2.5 through 2.5. Wow, that's great. 2.5 inch spine right there, and we're giving the elastic a 2.5 inch leeway here in the center right there, you know, to stand up, to stay open basically. And then we'll fold up our book end and give everything a smush. It's a little hard to see around that, so what we don't want is like baggy elastic. We want it to be tight, so I may have to remove it a couple times back and forth just to get it really in there. So, you know, it's a messy thing but it's doable. It's totally doable, and the look on the person's face when they get this with the junk journal, it's just going to be priceless, and the effort will be worth it in the end. Okay, so that's that and that. And then I'll place all of these clips back on in various areas to hold it all together. Let me just flip this over like so and take a look. Yep, that's pretty close, man. I mean, any closer than that, it would have been done by a factory. Like someone made this, and that's the look we're going for, right? Like this is homemade. It was handmade by me. If it was any closer than this, it would have been done by a machine. That's pretty stinking cute. All right. Again, I have a little bit of glue right here. I can rub that away at the end when all of this is dry, but you get the idea. Like this looks like a science experiment. Oh my gosh, yeah, but you get the idea. You get the picture, you understand what's happening here, and a full-size journal can fit down inside of here. Even an oversized journal can fit down inside of here. A chunky monkey could fit down inside of here. And for those of you who don't know what a chunky monkey is, it's like an oversized stuffed journal with like filled with pages and all kinds of ephemera and sorts. All right, so this is what we've got. It's not dry, so you can't really see it for its beauty, but this is what it would look like when it's done. All right, little handle, bit of elastic. Again, I have some glue on the elastic. I will get all of that off when I am done, but this will make a great little Christmas present, and you put a journal in there with a note from the bookmaker explaining what a junk journal is and what the heck it is that you just gave them, and everybody's happy, you know. Like, it's all the thing. It can happen. Alright guys, I am going to leave you right here at the end of this video, right here in this corner. So I hope you guys have a super crafty day. Stay naturally curious. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And thanks to each and every one of you who are subscribed to the channel and are watching the videos. So I will definitely talk to y'all in the next video. Bye.